My name is Michael Riendeau, and I'm 10 years old, almost 11. I've been in Clown, which is the horror movie, Tell the World, Dominion, and Rest Home.
Did Michael approach you about wanting to act, and what do you want him to get out of acting?
Michael did approach us. First, his sister had gotten some background work, and seemed to enjoy it quite a bit, and he expressed an interest in trying that as well. So we signed up with Smythe to get notices of upcoming work, and since we found it fairly inexpensive, we signed both kids up, and something came out that was pretty much an exact description of my son. So we thought, well, let's give it a try, and he seemed to have an aptitude for it, and just a natural ability. And the first audition he ever went to, he actually ended up with the job. We thought that was fairly unusual. And then the second time he went for audition, he got that job.
And what has been your favorite moment so far as an actor?
Well, probably the first one I ever did, Clown. Yeah, it was just really cool. I've never done it before, and it was my first thing I ever tried out for.
And what was the audition for Clown like?
It was cool. It was in this hotel, and there were a lot of people and a lot of other kids that were taller than me.
Are you a clown? My name's Robbie. What's your name? Oh. Whoa, you're really hungry. If you want to eat, I got some Cookie Crisp and a Lunchable and some cookies. And
his first audition was for the movie Clown, and there was we went to a hotel downtown, and he'd received his lines and everything. He'd memorized them, and so when he went in, he already knew them, and he was quite relaxed, and just seemed to think that this would be a fun experience.
So I did the audition, and yeah, they kind of yelled, but I wasn't expecting it. I thought it would just be in a low-tone voice, and I was really surprised, and I started crying.
And chocolate milk and Luther and...
Stay away!
He mentioned earlier he got shocked by there was an interaction with another character where he got yelled at and he wasn't expecting to be so loud. And he cried, but I think the shock on his face was real, and it made for a good audition. But he was surprised he got a call back, and then he did well on that one too, and then he booked the job, and we had so much fun working on that he wanted to continue.
Yeah, but then I got a call back, and then I did the callback. It was really cool. I was pretty glad because what happened was kind of surprising. So I did the callback. I think there were only 4 or 2 people left, me and one other person, or me and 3 other people. And then I got it, and I was really happy. It was just so cool.
And how much experience did Michael have prior to getting his first cast?
He had no experience at all. He hadn't tried anything. He hadn't taken any classes. He just he read the lines, memorized them, and then read them back to us. And we said, well, you might want to try doing it this way or this way.
I always practice it, and then I get into character, and my parents give me feedback, more emotion, or yeah.
But we also didn't want to put too much of our own ideas of what the scene would be like, because we wanted him to be able to take direction from whoever was telling him. Because that seems to be the key thing, and why he continues to book jobs, is he's not fixed in whatever he's doing. He'll take direction and roll with it, and change his idea of what the character might be depending on what's required, and based on that, he seems to be getting a fair bit of work.
And then when you're preparing for a movie, how do you get into character?
Well, I am the character. I'm in the moment. I am Robbie.
And when he has an audition or a self-tape, do you go in the audition room with him?
No, I don't. I actually haven't had the opportunity to see much of his work because he goes off and he goes into the room, and sometimes I can hear through the door, sometimes I can't, and he acts. Every time I ask him how to go, he says, "I rocked it."
And what's it like to audition?
It's just super cool, and I don't really get too nervous, but I get really sweaty.
At auditions, do you ever ask the casting director questions like, who else is auditioning? When will you let me know? And why shouldn't you?
I don't ever ask any questions. I don't want to impose, and I don't want to seem needy or pushy. I let Michael go and be his own representative. I've reminded him to always say, thank you very much for the opportunity, and to be pleasant and thankful. And I don't want to leave them with a negative impression of me. I don't want to be a stage dad who's pushy. I just want to go present him, have him give his opportunity to deliver the lines or be the part, and then just go home. And if there's a call, great. If there's not, also great. We've occasionally gotten feedback through our agent, but we don't push for it.
So how does it make you feel after an audition?
It makes me feel really good about myself, and I think that I did good, and I just want to find out what happens.
And how do you deal with not being cast if you audition for something?
I usually just forget about what I do in like the first day.
So it's just a nice surprise if you do get cast?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was worried for a while that how he would handle rejection when it finally came, but I realized after talking to him that he didn't distinguish between auditions or getting jobs. They were both the same thing. He got to go and have fun and read the lines, and whether he booked the job or not, it was all just acting, and he enjoyed all of it.
And then how often do you do self-tapes?
Well, pretty often, like once a month, I think.
Okay, and is it for movies in what cities?
It's usually for stuff in Montreal and Toronto, I think. Yeah.
How often do you get cast from self-tapes?
Most of the time when I do a self-tape, I get cast. Like, I'd say, how many times have I done a self-tape? I got cast 2 out of 6 times, I think.
What is it like on set?
It's just really cool, and like seeing everything happening, it's just really awesome.
Well, generally, I just don't want to be in the way. At first, I found the whole thing kind of overwhelming, and I didn't understand some of the terminology that they were using. Like, we're going to be doing blocking now. It's like, I don't know what that is. But over time, I got to know what they meant, and that everybody was generally very nice, and I just try and stay out of the way and try not to be bored, because there's a lot of long days of sitting around with very little to do. But we keep ourselves entertained.
And do you ever give your opinion on set?
Never. It's not my role. They have a vision for what they want to do, and I'm just there to keep my little actor happy and focused on the job at hand and professional.
And how do you memorize your lines?
I don't know. I just have a good memory and I memorize them.
And then what are reminders that this is a job and work environment? Did you have to have a conversation that he was there for a job?
We had that talk in the beginning, and we remind him every once in a while that this is your job, and you're to be professional and respectful while on set. And when they say be quiet, you need to be quiet. You need to just listen to the direction. But he's a very attentive and he likes to follow rules. So once they were explained to him, he was very, very big on following. He gets upset with other people if they're not following the instructions. What
made you take the next step into finding him an agent?
It was really meeting other actors on set, other kids who said that Ottawa is a different market. We didn't find we needed an agent here, but acting in Montreal or Toronto, it seems to be you get better access to things. It seemed when he had an agent, his Montreal agent got us more access to auditions for TV shows and commercials and some other movies.
Okay, and then what were you kind of looking for in an agent when finding them?
We wanted to find somebody that didn't want to represent a huge number of people. The agent that we found didn't have somebody like Michael in his age group or that looked like him. So we didn't want to, to have lots of, multiple representation by the same age. We wanted him to be the product that they were offering in that sort of demographic for each thing that came out.
And what kind of questions did you ask the agent, and how did you know the agent was right for him?
Well, the agent, the attitude going in, they wanted to meet him and see if he was right for them, and we were meeting her the same thing. We wanted it to be mutually beneficial. So they wanted to know that, he could be professional and show up on time and just if he was the something new for them to offer, and we wanted to make sure that they were going to treat us like people, like individuals, and not just a commodity or a product. That we've really gotten to know them, and we have a really nice friendly relationship with them. It's been very nice.
Okay, and how did you know it wasn't a scam?
Well, they were recommended to us through another child actor who had used them previously, and had since gotten other representation, but spoke very highly of them. Really, getting him the agent got him more opportunities to audition, but that was after we already realized this was a thing he wanted to do and that he liked and would continue to like. So he was getting work, and then we got access to more work after that.
Okay. And did you have to put out a lot of money to get Michael involved in acting?
No, we just put him in the Smythe database, and after he was unusual, after his first thing that he did, he ended up getting all of his actor credits and being able to become a full member after that first thing. And then after continuing to work, he got an agent after working for more than a year. And so no, the only money we've had to spend is the occasional train trip to Montreal and Toronto.
And what have your expenses been so far?
Well, he took an acting class, but it was fairly minimal. It was pretty cheap. And then travel expenses. I mean, it's been more than offset by the money he's made doing it. Not that we make him pay for those things. He's got a pretty good RRSP at this point. But out of pocket, we've been really minimal.
And then how much would you spend for like headshots for a kid?
Oh, for headshots, I mean, we'll spend sort of like $100 here or $100 there. I mean, one of those headshots was really just pictures that we took that happened to be pretty good. And so then whenever we need one, I just go to a local place and get them printed. So really that's $10. So we don't put out a lot of cash for this.
Okay. And what is the best way of building their training for a family on a fixed income?
He was in school play and just trying things, just continuing to come out and audition for things, and you get some feedback sometimes and just try different things. The trips to Montreal or Toronto can be frustrating and expensive, so we've done a few self-tapes here with Smythe, and they've been so much better than pulling out of school for a day and having him come home tired after like a trip all the way there and all the way back. So those have been great.
And how often do you update his headshots, and how much have you spent on them?
Oh, we update his headshots, I'd say maybe once a year, and we've so far probably only spent a couple $100.
And what kind of sacrifices have you made for Michael's acting?
Well, I have to be able to take time off work. Luckily, my boss is very good with that. I can take time off on very short notice and go to Montreal for a day, or say, yeah, he booked something, I'm going to be in New Brunswick for a week, is that okay? And those are the sacrifices that I've had to make, but other than that, I mean, it's not too arduous. It's a lot of fun. Just try it, to sign up, see what's available. Start with some background work, because if there is any for children, it comes up now and again, and get them acting in their local productions, and just try it. You don't need to spend a huge amount of money to get them going. You just need to try doing some things. It's fun.
And what advice would you have for other kids who want to get into acting?
Just make sure to not just memorize your lines, but also act. Because some people memorize their lines, but just act with no emotion. And they say them. So they should get into character and just memorize. And acting is fun. Like, have fun with it. Like,
we always agreed from the beginning that if it wasn't fun, we wouldn't do it anymore. And he's still having a blast, so we're still doing it.
What do you strive for as an actor?
To get noticed.
And why do you love acting?
Because it's just super fun, and you pretend, and the people you meet are all super nice, and it's just a really cool experience. Well, I am the character. I'm in the moment. I am Robbie. Did he even have a last name in the movie?
I don't think so.
My nickname for him was the guy who dies in the first 5 minutes of the movie.